Welcome to the DJ&P podcast. To my left is D, I'm J, and to my right is P. This is the second episode of the DJ&P podcast. Today we'll be focusing on the mindset of an individual in today's society. But before we start, let's toast up, fellas.
Episode 2?
2. That's some good shit. D, you want to take it away?
Absolutely. So episode 2 to the DJ&P podcast is going to be focused around a mindset. Not just one specific mindset, an individual's mindset behind being successful, a high value, a weak, a scarcity, a you versus you, and the ways to improve. But we're basing it off the stigmas in today's society. So behind a successful mindset, it's known as you got to work smarter, not harder, in order to have a successful mindset and succeed in life right now in today's society. Thoughts?
You got to be smart on how you do your work.
Agreed.
If you want something, you got to be a go-getter. You got to get your ass out there and work your balls off until you get there, because nobody's going to feel bad for you. Nobody's going to get you there but yourself. So you just got to get up every day, work towards your goals, and shit, go from there.
Yeah, Jay?
Yeah, well, to piggyback of what P said, is pretty much like what your parents kind of like bestowed on you as a child. Like, listen, if you want to be the best at what you do, you gotta work hard. You gotta wake up before the next person. You gotta be out there and grind, push yourself, for you to be the best. So pretty much working hard and working smarter kind of go hand to hand. But you have to have the will. You have to want to be better. You gotta want to be smarter than the next person and push yourself and stay with the same focus and goals.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I think it comes down to like giving 100% and everything, right? Like,
Yeah.
You know, you go into it with like, you got to focus on goals, I think, before you go anything. Like, you got to be kind of goal oriented in order to succeed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people come in and they're like a little in disarray as far as like, how do I succeed? Where do I start? Where do I finish? What's the end goal? I mean, I think that focusing on an individual task or in a long-term goal is huge, right? I mean, that's everything. That's how we succeed. I think even based off the podcast, guys, like the goal was to get it started. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But now we're going to give 100%. We're working smarter, working harder. But, you know, it's like you have to take action in order for it to succeed.
The first step is always the hardest step to take. Once you get past that first step, shit starts to fall in place.
Yeah, I mean, I
agree.
I think a big thing in today's society that everybody struggles with mindset-wise, in order not just how to be successful, but like how about learning like the fear failure of it, like being afraid to fail.
Well, if you bring it back to what you said earlier about starting this podcast, we ordered equipment that we didn't know nothing about. We didn't follow no directions. We just played with the equipment and learned how to set it up. We shot multiple videos before we dropped the first episode. It's on YouTube, by the way. Go check that out. And
shout out to episode 1.
Episode 1. So we had to fail for us to succeed, and we were okay with failing to succeed, because that's the only way you're gonna be able to achieve your goal.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And the goal was to have. Our goal is to have a decent podcast out there that will help people. That's here for the people, the viewers, the fans, to help them out. And we taking the actions that's needed by collaborating, by brainstorming every day, by sitting behind this camera and recording our thoughts and feelings and sharing it with the viewers.
But when we went into this, were we scared of something? What was the fear? A fear of failing? No.
Yeah, of course. It was like, yo, we're gonna waste our money. Nobody gonna be watching us. But
I think you have to get over that in order to be successful.
100%.
Right, P? I mean, I think that's huge.
To be successful, you you can't be afraid of failure because you learn from failure.
Right, you learn how to adapt and evolve, right?
Right.
That's the thing. Like, we didn't know how to use the equipment.
We learned real quick, though.
Yeah.
We learned real quick.
Failure is just lessons learned, and you build off of that.
And then how much have we, like, evolved? Like, it's just as far as being successful, how important is it to evolve? Like, I think we're evolving every single time we're filming and every single time we're putting up a short, and the way you're editing everything. Like, that's the key to being successful, is learning to adapt, overcome, and evolve within what we're doing, right? Not only just life, but work and everything.
Practice.
Practice makes perfect.
Everything. I was just going to say that. My grandparents drilled that into my head. My parents, since I was little, practice makes perfect. When we were kids, or you still play soccer, you still coach soccer.
Yep.
How often do you guys practice?
Every day.
Every day, right?
Every day.
And why is that?
And what's the goal?
It's the only way to get better. The goal is to win championships, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. I think thinking big is huge.
It's
a long-term goal, right? Thinking big. Like, what's the end goal of something? He's saying about me playing a sport, or any individual playing a sport, or doing anything in life. You have to think big, because the ultimate thing is success.
Yeah, but you also got to think, to go back what Pat was saying about practice. Practice is pretty much you crafting the skills that you have. Every time you practice, you are increasing that skill. You're making yourself better, and that's the same thing that's go for the day-to-day, like the person that's waking up, going to work every day. Every day that you go to work, you are crafting your skill to be the best at whatever that you are doing.
Yeah, I agree.
To make sure you are able to provide for your family, able to provide for yourself. So practice, going to work, doing what you gotta do, working hard and working smart will help you as a individual to be the best that you can be.
Do you think that you need to be able to, like, self-reflect in order to be successful? Like, spending time alone, self-reflecting, like, how big is that? Like, for me personally, like, going through trials, tribulations, and trying to be successful, I have to take a second and take a step back and think of self-reflect in order to see if I'm on the right goal, or if I'm on the right path, or if I'm giving 100%. Am I over that failure, that fear of failure? Like, how important is that to you guys?
Sometimes you have to look at the man in the mirror and have that conversation with him.
Yeah, what does he say to you?
Well, if that man in the mirror start talking back to you,
that's what he says.
What happens if the reflection in the mirror is not telling you what you want to hear?
No, but all jokes aside, though, sometimes you have to have that tough conversation with yourself and ask yourself, what could I have done better today to improve myself?
Yeah, of course.
Where do I need to work on to be at the CEO level, or whatever level that you want to be at? Yeah. So you have to have that conversation, and by having that conversation, you also boosting up your ego to make sure that, okay, well, today I do this. What can I do better tomorrow to get me to the next level?
I hear what you're saying. Pete, you ever self-reflect?
Oh yeah, 100% all the time. I have to. Yeah. Because I don't know the way my mind works. When I got too much on my plate, I'm thinking about everything.
Well, you're a perfectionist, right?
I mean,
right? That's what you do. So self-reflect on it.
Well, being a perfectionist.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying earlier today how it's a blessing and a curse.
Oh yeah, because it drives you nuts. You stress out over it, but like when I'm editing the videos, like, I don't know, if it's not perfect, I mean, nothing's ever perfect.
No, that's a lack of a better word, but perfect you can say. That's the ultimate goal.
Right.
That's the thing you thinking big, is to making each individual clip perfect.
Right.
Right?
And like I said before, P's talking to the man in the mirror right now. He just realize it.
Yeah, you might as well look forward and self-reflect, because this is who you're talking to right now. You're talking to yourself.
Do I got to look into the camera?
You can. You can self-reflect right there.
Okay. Now I'm camera shy.
No, it's all good. I get it, but I think I'd say, like, for a successful mindset, right? I think success is measured based on the individual.
Yes.
Right? It's not based of what you do or what people think of you or anything like that. I think success is only measured by what you feel is successful. And I think it's really important for everybody to know, like, there's this big stigma out there, oh, you need to do this, this, and that to be successful. Well, you don't, because you can be content with how you are, and that works. You know what I mean? That's okay.
As long as you're okay with what you're doing and you love what you're doing, you take pride in what you're doing, that's success to me. So you don't have to be the man all the time. Just as long as you're comfortable with what you're doing, you're comfortable with the person that you are, the person that you wake up every day and you strive to be, better than what you was yesterday, that is success.
I agree. You know, and that's kind of like transitioning me in what I think about today, like the stigma behind like high value and a strong mindset. And originally I thought, you know, what's the high value of a man? What's the strong mindset of a male? And I'm not thinking that way anymore. Specifically for this podcast, what's the high value for an individual, male, female, whatever it may be, or what's a strong mindset? Because usually that high value is equivalent to being strong, right? That's usually what people think. Oh, if I'm strong, or if I'm a high value, I have a strong mindset. But I think a stigma out there right now is, in order to be high value or in order to be strong, you can't show emotion. And I feel like now more than ever, you should be able to show emotion, but for men, we struggle with it, showing that emotion, right?
Do we?
You know, how tough is it for you, P? I mean, you have an Italian background. You know what I mean? You probably have a strict father or whatnot, where we all came from, something similar. Oh, yeah. Can you show emotion?
Can you? Yes, I mean, but
is it accepted?
It's, I don't know, like you were talking about before, stigmas. Like, I don't know, coming from a European background, European family, really old school Italian family, the man is supposed to be the man. The man is not supposed to show emotion. If he needs to show emotion, you show emotion by yourself. You don't let other people see you like that, because now that portrays you as being weak.
Yeah, and what does that do? You know what I mean? When someone portrays you, if you're showing emotion, someone portrays you as weak, where's that mindset going to be? No, this is someone, I know where you're going with it. No, before, I'm not to cut you off, but I'm saying as far as like, this is supposed to be high value. This is what society has said based upon research and stigmas and what you're saying on social media. High value means you can't show emotion. Well, how does that make you high value?
I understand that, but you're not living for society's stigma. You're not living for social media. You're living for you.
Yeah. But that's important for them to know that. Yeah, you need to get that out there to everybody out in the world. Like you're not living.
You are living for you. You're not living for social media. You're not living for society. You're not living for likes. You are living for you. If you feel like you need to let your emotions out, let them out. Do not hold your emotion in just because society gonna think you weak or your friends gonna think you weak. If something's going on with me and these two are around and I need to cry, I'm gonna cry like a little kid, because I need that emotion to get out. And at times, that's the best way you could express your feeling and what you're holding inside.
That's interesting you say that. That's interesting, because you've never cried in front of us.
Well, it might happen one day. You just gotta catch me at the right time.
All right. Well, if we're gonna go into that, how important is that? We talked about earlier not fearing failure, but how important is it now for a high value person to be fearless? You have to be able to show emotion now. So
be fearless in what sense?
In all aspects, because now if we're saying, okay, we don't agree with people saying the mindset behind being high value and having a strong mindset is you don't want to show emotion. Now we're going against what most people say. The stigma of you can't show emotion equals being high value. We're saying no, you can show emotion and still be high value. So now you're becoming fearless, right?
You know, at time, the toughest man in the room is the most quietest one.
Yeah, it's usually P.
Yeah. The badass in the room is usually the quietest one.
No.
And when you look at it, it's like you don't have to be the loudest in the bunch for you to be fearless. You could be quiet, move in silence, and get the job done.
Right, but I'm saying as far as like, be fearless as far as it's okay to make a mistake.
We all make mistakes.
Right, but some people are afraid to admit the mistakes. And you have to be okay in today's society to say, I messed up. I made a mistake. I feel like that's where I'm going with, but that's where I'm going with being fearless.
But if you don't make mistakes, you're never going to learn from it.
Agreed.
And you're never going to be able to progress.
Right, I like where you're going with it. I like where you're going with it.
You can, in some situation,
step back. We're talking about self-reflection of that. How about like high stat? Right. Being high value, maybe it's taking that step back and observing more in life.
Exactly.
Instead of being the one that always has to do something, why don't you step back and actually get a broad view on it, right, P? Like, how important is it, talk about you being more of a quiet one. I bet you being quiet opens your eyes up to so much more than everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I sit back, I observe, and I reflect on stuff a lot. Mm-hmm. But reflecting on things, you're able to, instead of depending on what you're reflecting on, if you have to make a decision or whatever you're talking about or whatever you're thinking about, you need to be able to step back and look at the big picture. You can't just base your decision, for me anyways, I can't just make a decision right off the rip if it's a big decision. I need to sit back and think about it, look at it at all angles, and see how it's going to play out best. No,
but that's a strong mindset right there. You taking a step back and looking at everything.
Right, yeah.
And seeing how it plays out, whether it's going to be good or bad in the long term. You're taking that extra second to look at everything. And I don't think everybody does that. I think there's like, now in today's society, everybody's a go-getter. Impulsive. Trying to see something. You want everything to happen so fast.
Everybody just want to react.
Instant gratification.
Everybody wants nowadays. That's exactly instant gratification.
Nobody wants to work, but I mean, just like we're talking about, the society nowadays, it's the stigma of society now is with this generation coming up, they're not hard workers. They don't want to work.
I agree with you.
From all aspects, I got friends that are in construction, business, finance, all that stuff, law enforcement, and they all say that the quality of workers that they're getting nowadays is not like it used to be, because everybody has a sense of entitlement, I think, nowadays, to where they think that they deserve something, when in actuality you have to put your best foot forward and work for the shit you want.
How hard was it after the pandemic to get people to go back to work?
They're still trying to get people back to work.
Right? Yeah. Right? How about that?
Working from home.
That mindset changed, though. That high value, which we saw, that work smarter, work harder, put 100% in, that's changed completely.
The whole world flipped upside down.
Right. It's
the joy of like waking up early, making breakfast, getting your coffee ready, getting in the car, driving to the office, saying hi to the neighbors.
It's gone.
There's not that. Like,
no, it's not there anymore.
You probably in a freaking meeting with someone that's still in their freaking pajama pants with a freaking button up, and you don't even know because they're working from home.
I mean, it's kind of like us, right? I mean,
it's not like us.
We have t-shirts. We have nice t-shirts up top, but on the bottom,
on the bottom.
I mean, I'm wearing.
No. We're good.
Saying,
we got the khakis on.
But some people
penny loafers.
Some people that's working from home.
Corduroys.
Yeah, the corduroys.
But some people that's working from home don't even have like the will or even put an effort in even getting dressed to just sit behind the computer. They just put a t-shirt on or
I agree with you,
but and just
you're absolutely right. And that mindset, right? That strong mindset used to always be ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes to work, if something you get stuck in a job, you got to know how to get out of it. You got to be ready to fight back. If something doesn't go your way, you got to be ready to fight back. I feel like that's lost now.
It is.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's lost. We used to be able to, if something didn't succeed, you'd what? Try again, right?
Yeah, try.
That used to be the mindset. Now the mindset, it isn't there, right?
People used to have a plan A all the way down to Z. If they're attacking a situation, if A failed, they'll go straight to B. If that failed, they'll go down the line until they figure out the situation.
Yeah.
Nowadays, as soon people hit that wall, they hit the wall. They just want to throw their hands up and give up and not try a different way to attack the situation.
Agreed.
There's multiple ways you could skin a cat. So what you guys need to do is you guys need to learn that. Stop giving up. Stop giving up on yourself. Like keep on trying. It's okay to pick yourself up back every time and try and put your best foot out there and do your best.
If you believe in it, if it's something that you really want and you believe in it, go fucking get it and don't stop until you get it.
And I love that you say that, because you talk about that mentality changing, right? That stigma of instant gratification. How about going back to not chasing the instant gratification and grinding?
I mean, you got to grind to be successful. You have to. There's no ifs, ands, or but about it. If you want, depending on whoever, like we could want different things in this world, but it's something that I want to grind to get it. Something that B wants, he's gonna fucking
absolutely. And I think
get it.
Go ahead, Jay. I feel like you're going with somewhere with this.
But you know what gets me is everybody that's on social media will grind to get likes, will grind to get followers, but they will not grind to better themselves.
That comes down to that instant gratification, because they're grinding to get those likes.
Easy money is quick money.
That's
quick
crazy.
money is easy money now. It's just different. It's just a different. I mean, we're old school, I guess you'd say. I mean,
you have to put the effort within yourself to better yourself.
No, we're just not Instagram models.
Talk for yourself.
All right, well, I'm just saying, like, it's that instant gratification we're talking about, right? So we're about high value, strong value. It's like you know, how do you stay calm in a situation where it's like that instant gratification isn't there for you? You still can be high status though without the instant gratification.
You could, but
by grinding, but that just gets overlooked right now.
You gotta have the mindset to keep your feet planted.
One thing I want to touch on too is we're talking about high status, or what did you call it before?
Just a high value, strong
high
mindset.
Status.
That's what today's society is saying we should be.
I just don't want people to get confused. It doesn't matter your status in anybody else's eyes but your own.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's huge. Do not try to please everyone.
You can't please everyone.
Just please yourself. And within yourself, we talked about earlier, success is measured by the individual. Well, so's a strong, high-value mindset.
Yeah.
It's what you make it out to be. If you're out there grinding and you're putting in that 9 to 5, or if you're out there on TikTok or Instagram doing this, that, whatever you consider to be a strong mindset is going to be your individual mindset.
Yeah. And the other thing is, the people that matters and the people that have a say in your life will realize that. They'll let you know, like, dang, I see you. You've been grinding. You've been working.
Absolutely.
Keep it up.
Mm-hmm. You'll get the gratification from that. You know what I mean? That sometimes feels 100 times better than the other.
Oh yeah, those comments. If you get, I know for me, if I get comments like that, it boosts me right up, and
for sure,
and it makes me want to grind even harder.
So another topic I found really interesting, and I think the viewers will find interesting, is what is considered a low value, weak mindset. Now, guys, we're just touching base on this because society is saying this, and I really don't agree with it all, but I went on YouTube and I looked up some specific quotes. There's a specific thing I found, a men's quote. Don't take it out of context. That's actually the title of the channel. And behind a weak mindset, guys, they said that you're low value, you're a weak mindset if you apologize for everything. Okay, now I agree with that to an extent, because you shouldn't be an apologist for everything, or on what's the word I'm looking for? Unequivocally apologetic for everything. Yeah. But I feel like there's got to be that in between. But if we're talking about a weak mindset, low value mindset, I think saying, hey, one apologizes for everything, that could be considered a weak mindset, no?
No, that's not.
For apologizing for everything? I'm not talking about individualism, everything as a whole. That's what that's saying. Oh, sorry, Pete, not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
So this is where I want to go back and forth. I found this really interesting for the viewers. They're saying a weak mindset of a person, a low value person, is someone who apologizes for everything.
My interpretation of that is if the correlation between having a weak mindset and apologizing for everything, that to me is because when you apologize for everything, it kind of brings on a sense that you're unsure with yourself.
Okay.
And if you believe in something, you believe in it. It's your beliefs, and stand by it. Who cares what people think? It's you're living your life for you. You're not. Yeah, you want to please other people, but don't be phony. Don't be fake. Don't put on a front for anybody that, like, you kind of like in a situation where you want to fit in and you kind of go against your beliefs. A lot of people will do that, and I think that could be considered a weak mindset, because if you're unsure about yourself,
you could be considered weak. If someone says to you, if you're unsure and you come off unsure, it can be considered weak. People prey on top of that.
Oh yeah,
they
all day.
So what about if you're unsure and you made a mistake? You made an honest mistake. You wouldn't apologize for that?
I would apologize for it, but I'm not saying that makes me as an individual. I'm talking about.
Of course not. You're not. I know. Like, you apologizing to me. Like, this is my mindset on it. If I'm apologizing for something, it's because I realize as a man I made a mistake. But if someone keep apologizing over and over and over about something, like, What are you hiding?
Yeah, I mean, you could see it that way. But I'm more just far as like they're saying a low value person is someone who apologizes for everything.
And I think that could play into like low self-esteem, apologizing for everything.
Sure. And I think it's just important to note out there, like, yeah, there are things you should apologize for. There are right, wrongs in certain situations, but don't apologize for everything. If you're not wrong, you're not wrong.
Just stay humble.
Yeah, stay humble, be fearless, observe it, just be ready for that fight. And I think another low value thing is being defensive. I mean, sometimes I'm for one, I could take fault. I mean, you're laughing, but I think every single one of us have situations where they get defensive.
I am far from defensive. Far from it, okay? Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. I can see that.
Far from being defensive.
Right. You know, you did get defensive when I made you apologize on YouTube.
That never happened.
Right.
That never happened.
Check the shorts. You'll see him apologize for a late night out.
I circle around it. I never apologized.
You were real defensive that night. I can tell you that. And I think you being defensive in some situations sometimes makes you weak.
Makes me weak.
I'm just kidding.
No. It's cool. Let's put it out there.
No, I'm not putting it out there. I'm talking about is someone being overly defensive for something, does that make them weak-minded or low value? Because the stigma is if you're always defensive, you're weak. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with that though. Maybe you guys do.
If you're defensive, it's because you are sure on what you are defending. So, no, that doesn't make you weak. That's because you know what you're talking about.
As if you're caught out in a situation.
Then you turn around and apologize.
You know what I mean?
It still doesn't make you weak. That make you a man.
Yeah.
Like, oops, my bad.
I mean, again, for the viewers, we're just talking about what stigma has said, what society has said right now is considered low value. So we're just depicting some of the big things that we found were really interesting, talking points, so to speak, that I think we all can go back and forth, us three as a panel, and then you as the viewers who could just provide some insight. Something else that popped up to me. Being afraid of social situations, interactions, allowing critics to control you. I think that's really interesting. Shouldn't allow anybody to control you. But I think nowadays people are so afraid, or when they post a picture, they post something on YouTube or post an episode or anything.
Everybody just wants to fit in nowadays. Everybody wants everybody to like them.
Don't be afraid of other people's opinions.
Exactly. But there's a stigma against that too, when you're not afraid of other people's opinions and you speak up on what you believe, and if there's any type of butting heads there, now you're labeled as something.
Yeah, I mean, that's that gray area. Mm-hmm. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, so to speak. But I could say
sometimes you just gotta sit back and be quiet.
yeah. Wouldn't that be nice if Jay did that for
like
once?
I'm doing. I'm doing it right now.
It's the first time for everything. You're doing good. This is good. The viewers have never seen you like this, so it's important. But I think it's important in today's society not to allow. You are low value if you're allowing people to control you. If you're allowing the critics to have say in how you're going to live your life, it does make you low value. So I think it always comes back down to what we're saying. Be ready for that fight, because people are going to hate. They're always going to hate.
It's their job. Haters hate.
Haters hate. I mean, misery loves company, right? So misery loves company.
The only reason why someone would hate on you is because you're doing something that they wish that they could have done or wanted to be doing. All right? So let them hate. Let them hate. Live your life. Enjoy life. Have fun with it. Haters going to hate.
Haters are always going to hate.
And if they're hating when you fail, just turn that into ammunition to just make yourself better. Just use that.
Yeah. Use that as a fucking fuel.
Hell yeah.
Use that as a fuel and make them hate you more tomorrow, the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
How about never truly expressing how you feel?
Depends. What kind of...
Well, society says the one who doesn't express how they feel makes them a low value. Weak person.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Nah,
I don't agree with that at all. I think we are all on the same page with that.
That's
because there's sometimes people don't express their feelings and say what they truly believe in just to avoid conflict. And nowadays, I think that's pretty important in this day and age, because I'm not gonna lie, people get their feelings hurt way too easy nowadays.
It's a sensitive society.
It is. It's
a very sensitive society.
You have to. Within the past couple of years, I felt like I've had to kind of reel myself in a little bit and not say the things that I normally.
I don't think it's just you.
Would.
I think that's society as a whole. I think that's society as a whole. I think we can piggyback off that and say, yeah, we're on the same page as you. We've all had to take a step back.
But you also got to think about it. What did your parents used to say to you? If you don't have nothing nice to say, keep your mouth shut. So that kind of drilled on us as a young kid.
Yeah.
So now if you having a dialogue with someone that says something that you don't like, what you gonna do? You gonna bite your tongue for a bit, go to your friends or family and be like, yo, can you believe what this dude just said to me?
Yeah, right.
So it's a smart thing to do.
I think we're all saying though that doesn't make you weak.
No,
we disagree with that stigma of not expressing your feelings doesn't make you weak. I think you were picking and choosing now how we express our feelings.
Listen, at that point you are pretty much playing chess, not checkers. So you seen the bigger issue. Mm-hmm. Like we're in a society where everybody, like you said the wrong thing, you hurt the wrong person's feelings. That's it for you. You done.
And I think that's perfect. Go ahead. Canceled. Yeah, if you hurt someone's feelings, we're canceled.
Cancel society.
But
Please don't cancel us.
I think that's awesome, guys, to transition into that scarcity mindset. So people are like, what's a scarcity mindset? So my thing is like being afraid of moving forward in life, being afraid of the repercussions of what you do, being afraid of how society's going to judge you. All that stuff is now, because this is new. That scarcity mindset is new.
Yep.
To society. You know what I mean? Making a change is scary. Like our thing is,
it shouldn't.
Well, right, and I want to touch on this, and P, you can run with it because I know you got a thought on your mind, but like that scarcity mindset right now, being afraid of change and moving forward and what people are going to think, that's huge with today's society.
A lot, because I'm not speaking for everybody, but a lot of people are afraid to leave that comfort zone. When they step outside of their comfort zone, it's not comfortable anymore, right?
Oh yeah, it's huge. Especially with relationships.
Yeah, with everything. Like you step out of your comfort zone, now you don't know what to do.
Yep.
But when you step outside of your comfort zone, that's the time you're learning. Like I'm a dad, I have a son, and I saw this reel one time and it said when your kid's doing dangerous things carefully, that's when they're learning. So when I watch my son do things, if it's a little bit iffy, I let him rock with it and just watch him, make sure he's being careful.
Oh, for sure. I think it's awesome.
So like back to what I was saying, people are scared to step out of the comfort zone, but when you sit in your comfort zone, you stay stagnant, you plateau.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are afraid. People are stuck on just dipping their toes in the water as opposed to making that leap, you know? I think that's...
Stop being afraid. Take a chance. Believe in yourself.
I'll tell you right now...
Take a chance to better yourself.
We took a huge step.
We did.
And even starting this podcast. And that scarcity mindset was really big at the beginning. We're still struggling with it a little bit, I think. A little bit as far as struggling with the followers, all that. Scared as far as like... if it's going to take off, when it's going to take off. I think we're still struggling a little bit as far as that mindset, but it takes time to get over that.
We took that leap.
For sure.
And we are recording the second episode.
Yes, we are.
So we winning, baby.
For sure. And I think it ultimately comes down to that you versus you mentality.
Yeah.
I think our biggest, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Our biggest critic, yeah, for sure, is ultimately ourself. And I think that goes for every single individual. We talked about looking in the mirror, all that, you know, we talked about that you versus you mentality of whether or not you're going to do this right or that wrong, and the repercussions behind it is huge. I think we've all struggled with that you versus you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you guys got to understand, it's okay to fail. It's okay. Be okay with it. Embrace the failure, but learn from the failure and better yourself.
Yeah, for sure. You ever struggle with that you versus you?
Oh yeah, every day.
I mean, it's an ongoing.
We all struggle with it.
I know, for sure. I think it's important for the viewers out there to know that you're not alone. That you versus you mentality is something that we struggle with every single day. That scarcity mindset, that's huge, because not knowing whether or not to fail and how you can recover from it. But I think having touched basis on all the key mindsets right now, guys, I think it's a little bit, if I want to touch on some ways to improve that mindset. This is kind of more of an open discussion. I wanted to bring this up if you guys don't mind. Lately, I've been struggling with a lot of things out there, and my mind's kind of been all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to church on Sunday, and I went back and forth on going.
That's why you didn't answer our text.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too religious. If you're religious, if you're not religious, that's completely up to you. It's not for us to judge. But I went back and forth on waking up on Sunday to go, and I was like, I'm good. I didn't want to go. I'll just sleep in, But I got up and I went, and I was kind of looking for a little guidance. I don't know if guidance is the right word. And I went there and I sat through the hour and a half long service, and I literally had goosebumps throughout it because I feel like it's what I needed as far as like just to clear my head. And I'm not there asking for forgiveness on that, but guys, let me tell you, for me personally, going to church was something that just helped me clear my mindset, where I walked away out of it and been like, I needed this.
Because you got something positive out of it. This world is so full of negative nowadays that you need that positive reinforcement. You need it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, I'm not going to get all religious on people, but that's something you look up to if that's something you believe in.
Right.
And you get positive vibes, positive mindset. I know a lot of people that go every Sunday, and they don't miss a Sunday because that helps them get through their week.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people stray away from faith and they lose it along the way, and that's okay. That's on them.
I was one of those people that lost faith, and I recently gained it this year.
And how does that make you feel as far as a mindset perspective? Because I feel like when I went away from it, I don't want to say I was lost, but
I was lost. I was doing a lot of stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. So when I pretty much like sat down and buckled down, started reading my Bible, praying daily, like I felt more. What's the word I'm looking for? I felt more at peace with myself.
That's fine, yeah.
And I was able to focus more on what I really wanted. So the position that I am today in my career, before I had put in for it, I brought it to God, and I'm like, hey, listen, this is what I want. This is what I enjoy. Yeah. If you see it fit, let's make it happen. The interview came up, went through it. 2 days later, I'm getting a call back saying I got the position.
That's awesome.
So
man.
that's
awesome.
Like having faith just make you stronger, and don't be afraid to talk about it and to speak about it, because we all know there's a greater power out there. Whatever you believe in, I respect that. Continue to do what you're doing. Continue to pray. Continue to worship whatever you worship. But like going to church is a great feeling, and I'm proud of you for going. And
I appreciate that.
And I hope you keep going every Sunday. And you need that connection with the higher power.
Well, I think that's us taking action. We talked about successful mindset earlier, right? And I think one of the things out there in society was you got to take action in order to succeed. Well, that was our way individually, how to clear our mindset and get us back on track. I think therapy is huge. P, I'm gonna let you run with this a little bit more than me. I think all of us can admit real quick.
A new therapist. She's hot.
She's gonna see this.
Yeah, she's gonna see this pod.
Hey, this podcast.
Okay, shout out to who? Miss who?
That's not her name.
Okay.
I was about to say.
No, but I think therapy is another way for your mindset. P, I'm gonna let you run with it. I'm not even gonna talk. Go ahead.
Why are you putting this on me? No, I'm just kidding. No. So a lot of people, there's a stigma nowadays where people think it's a weakness if you go to therapy, but it's just a way to get your thoughts, your feelings out to an unbiased person that's not going to judge, that's not going to take your side, that's not going to take somebody else's side. They're just there to listen and there to help you. I think it's a great thing, because when you try to deal with things yourself, your mind's going to be going crazy, because you're just going to be thinking about the things that the things that you know how to do, how to fix things, or what have you, whatever the situation may be. But when you have an unbiased person there that can see the bigger picture and have the picture be clear because they're an outsider,
yeah,
they can give you some good advice, and they're trained professionals to be able to help you through things like that.
So you're saying it's okay?
It's 100%. I don't think it's
Jay,
I don't think it's weak at all.
You would
to see a
encourage that?
therapist.
It doesn't make you a weak mindset? Because all three of us see someone.
No, if anything, it's going to make your mindset stronger because you're getting more tools from them to put in your toolbox.
When you walk away, P, from that session, or Jay, question for both you guys, how do you feel? Where's your mind at?
Good. I feel good.
I think Jay,
feel
P, the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, because
Everything that you had in your head, in your mind, it's out. You put it out there because you know that person's not going to.
and there's laws behind it to where they can't tell other people your business.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's just a place to be able to get shit off your chest.
It's a safe place because it's an unbiased opinion that the therapist is always going to keep it real with you. They're going to keep it a buck. They're saying you're either right or wrong. They're going to tell you like it is, and they're not judging you. They're keeping it real, and I think that's great. To me, that's. Go ahead.
You know, the other thing is, like, I got a quick story to tell. Like, the other day, right?
I don't know. Do we have the time?
We do have the time.
Okay.
It was a few weeks back, so I took this.
Start the stopwatch now.
I took this young lady out, and this is how you guys could use the people around you as therapists, as people to vent to. I'm on a date, and I'm literally sitting there venting to this young lady about my past, and during that conversation, that young lady helped me realize something that affected multiple decisions that I made in my life and multiple things that happened to me in my life. And I was like so like baffled by it. Like I was like, holy shit. How did you make that come out of me? Because you have to know.
But it was a safe place.
I'm not the one to open up.
She made it comfortable for you, right?
Because therapist. But like, yeah, it was really comfortable, and I was able to just open up and express my feelings.
But to touch on that a little bit, she may have been through a situation very similar to what you have been through, and you guys just connected on that level to where you felt comfortable talking about it. Because I've been there before. I've been there before where
I think you're right, P.
Like you get on this level to where you can you feel safe or you feel comfortable talking about it, and you guys can bounce your stories off of each other. And from that, having two people with two different perspectives on a situation come to one, formulate your thoughts or your tools that you use to get through the situation, and just like that, you can get more tools in your toolbox too to be able to handle difficult situations.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think P, you right. You're right, because when I walk away from that, from that date on the drive home, I was like still like
self-reflected.
Yeah, I'm like, how
self-reflection's key. It's a key tool.
I was like, wow, because like,
what are you gonna say? I already know you're getting deep.
No. I was just about to say he was about to go buy an engagement ring.
Oh, was it? For those of you who don't know, Jay falls in love real quick. First date, he falls in love real quick.
Hey, what can
it happens. Well, I guess, guys, go ahead. Were you going somewhere with that?
It was crazy. It was really crazy because I was sitting there and be like, wow. No,
you were probably sitting back too, like, damn, I can't believe I just opened up like that.
Dude,
it took me 9 years to get him to open up. 10 now. So
I opened up to her like crazy. Like it was like she knew about my past and things that I've been through and things that just happened, and she wasn't judgmental. She might be a therapist because the way she was just pulling out information out of me was like.
So
clockwork.
That's awesome. So that would go along with the ways improving your mindset, being comfortable and opening up someone, right? Mm-hmm. So shout out to her.
Yeah.
So we just touched base a couple things, right? Church, therapy.
You know who else does that too? My goddamn barber. I don't know why. Wow. Every time I'm in that chair, he want to start a conversation. The next thing you know, I'm just venting to him.
Well, for 2 out of the 3 of us, the barbershop is the place where we call it therapeutic. I didn't want to say it, but I knew you were going to say it before I said it. So
Woo-wee.
No shots, no, but the barber can still trim your beard.
Fired.
Oh yeah, no, I still go see my barber.
Okay, that's great.
That's my boy.
No, I mean that's awesome. Talking about mindset. As if you weren't going to go there. Did it cross your mind?
You know it did.
I just wanted to say it. He knew it was coming though. We touched on this before. He knew it was coming. You know what I mean? Like, you have a great beard.
Oh, thanks.
But
thanks.
But we're talking about like the mindset. You gotta breathe, man. You gotta breathe.
You catching a glare off my head?
No, man. It's not right. No, we're just talking about mindset, and I don't want to go too deep in that right now because we're talking about grooming and men's health later on in the further episodes. Yes. But just as far as mindset, just real quick, if you get a quick cut or you get your hair done for the ladies out there, like their mindset of walking out and feeling confident is huge. So, you know, I did read a quote, guys, to wrap it up. I thought it was really interesting. I wanted to just play it for you. If you change your mindset, everything else will change with it.
100%.
I feel like it was.
Damn.
It stuck out to me.
Damn.
So I'll say it again in the camera. If you change your mindset, everything else, life, everything, expectations, everything else will change with it. And I think that's an awesome way to end it. Just a little food for thought. Let it marinate, so to speak. You know, I don't know if you guys want to touch it before we end the pod, but
no,
yeah,
that's the nail on the coffin right
there. Yeah, I'll say it for the third and final time. If you change your mindset, everything in life will change with it. And if it's for the positive things, it'll be positive, and it's negative, it's gonna be negative. But we're gonna keep it positive here on this podcast.
It's not easy, but
we're gonna try.
Keep at it. You just gotta keep at it. You gotta grow every day.
Listen.
So I think this pretty much concludes episode 2 of the mindset. Episode 3 is going to be known as the bounce back. Jay, I think if you want to run with that real quick.
Yes, episode 3 is the resurrection of anybody that's been down.
Yeah, so we talked about a weak mindset, a low value, which sometimes leads into other things, and that scarcity mindset. So we want to take those mindsets today, which society feels as low, and show you pretty much how to bounce back from it, right, guys? I mean, that's cute.
Yes, sir.
You know, so if we could, for the DJ&P podcast, this wraps it up, episode 2. I am D. This
J.
is, and that's P. If you could please click subscribe and turn notifications on. It really, really helps out the channel. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify now, right, boys? Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify,
Instagram, and TikTok. And again, we thank you all for tuning in. Click subscribe, turn notifications on, and
cheers.
Toast up, fellas.
It's episode 2, boys.